Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. Happy Valentine's Day. The Giants get Soler. The schedule is funky, kind of. There's schedule stuff and other stuff and more after that. Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. Thank you very much for joining us today. My name is Jimmy. His name is Jake. Trev's wearing a two-toned green hoodie, BBD behind the dish. It's brought to you by SeatGeek. It's Valentine's Day, and the Giants get their slugger, Jorge Soler. Also, there was an article on The Athletic about the schedule and its oddities that I really enjoyed, and some other names bouncing around camps that you might not know are bouncing around camps. That's the agenda. Jake, how do you think Trev is? Trev!
Hey, guys. How are you? Hopefully my voice is okay. I'm under the weather today, but I'm built different than Jake. I show up for work. Things are going well. I actually forgot that it was Valentine's Day today. So I retract that statement. I love every single one of you, including you, Jake. Olivia and I celebrated yesterday. I gave her flowers and the card and chocolate and all that stuff.
Sounds like you didn't forget at all.
I'm just not feeling great right now.
Okay.
But I do love each and every one of you. So a big heart goes out to Jake, who is wearing pink today.
It's Valentine's Day. Wear some pink, guys. Be better. James,
watermelon
Trev,
sugar right here.
Davis.
What do you call that? What do you call that? It's pink.
Trev, feel better, little guy. I know you had that facial peel the other day, so you're really hurting right now. Yeah, that's tough, huh? Excited to yuck some ball. My short king, Jason Stark, who, you know, sometimes people forget about him on the short king hierarchy, and then he drops some missiles like this, some scheduled deep dive stuff with Starkey. And Soler to the Giants. What I don't know. I love that. Is that's the day, was that the day before the Giants went to camp, and it's like, hey, we're gonna invite this Cuban guy with his own missile hanging. So I like that for the Giants. And we'll see what else. What does it mean for JD Martinez? Like, that guy's still a free agent. Go look at his stats last year. And just his career, 5 straight All-Star games. I know all JM is more important, but JD Martinez. How are you doing, Jimmer? What'd the kids get you for V-Day?
We don't celebrate Valentine's Day, so I checked in actually today at 9:30. I was like, hey, we still don't do anything for this, right? And she's like, yeah, I don't care. And I was like, okay, good. Because I also forgot until I looked at the date on my computer this morning, which is great. Still got to check in. It's been 8 years we've been together, so it's still like, you let me know when you want to start, but if you still don't give a shit about this day, I'm also with you. So that's nice. I don't know if we've ever got each other stuff once.
I don't get anything. That's the thing about all these holidays. You know, like I don't receive a gift for Valentine's Day. I mean, I have to beg for a card.
I'll send you something.
Yeah, send me some.
Okay.
Maybe you and I could be Valentine's Day buddies.
I like that. Because I like chocolates. So, like, I'd eat chocolate. I know you don't. Just get you a beer or whatever.
That's nice.
See?
Yeah, isn't that like the man flowers, the 6-pack, right? That's what they say.
Maybe.
Although I'm going 2 weeks with no alcohol as well. I'm just doing a real flush for my skin, Jake. You know what? Some people.
What a grind, man. 2
TV.
weeks. How are you going to do it?
You got to go back to whole milk.
Last time I went 2 weeks without having a drink. I don't know. When's the last time you went 2 weeks?
Jim, last time you had a drink?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't drink. I'm sober.
Jim's the
I'm not
best.
sober. I just don't drink. But I might have had a drink at one point. I got a beer the other day. I think I took a sip of a beer and I was like, I don't care. I don't care. This was for you guys at the table, for you to feel comfortable. I don't really want this. So then I didn't drink it.
Okay.
Good luck on your 2 weeks. We'll pray. How many days in are you? And you're sick and you're peeling? Damn.
It's tough. Yeah, my body's reacting.
Yeah.
Body needs it.
Yeah. It does that. Then it'll come back.
I think it's been 3 days since the Super Bowl.
Damn. Wow.
Hey, they say the first 3 days are the toughest, you know? Once you don't identify.
You and I got off on the wrong foot today. You really did. I'm in a good mood. I don't know why you're coming at me like this.
You said I don't show up for work.
Oh, that did. You know what? I apologize because I know that does ruffle
You
your
started
feathers
the
when I say
whole
stuff
thing.
like that,
You started the whole thing.
Okay. You reacted poorly to it. Anyway, what's in his basement?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to know.
Hey, first topic. The San Francisco Giants, they got themselves a slugger. Jorge Soler declined his $9 million player option with the Marlins. Said, I can get more than that. And he did. He signed a 3-year deal worth $42 million, includes a $9 million signing bonus. I do think this is a pretty good, in a vacuum, value pickup for the Giants. They got a slugger to put in their lineup. I think if you go bigger picture Giants, I think that's where it might be harder to be like, I don't think this just changes them a ton, which we were talking about before the show. But I do think in a vacuum, this is a nice quality deal for both sides. So that's my initial thoughts. Jake, what was your initial thoughts?
I liked it. I know we've got the San Francisco Giant Homer fun fact that's been going around our office and baseball today. Now live with Chris Rose and Trevor Plouffe. Go check that out on the Jam Baseball channel. I like it. One of my running jokes with BBD and Wake and Jake has been like the Giants have six-hole hitters that, like, if that guy was in your 6-hole, you'd be like, ooh, I like Tyro there. I like Lee there. I like Jake. Soler's not that guy. Soler, has some thump. And the thing that I do think, I don't know if it's underappreciated, but I think being able to DH is more of a skill than we appreciate. Like, I respect the teams that have kind of a floating DH spot to get guys off their feet, but to be a DH is hard. And Soler career has really good numbers as a DH. I think there's a little interesting, what are you going to get? We've seen Soler with some up and down seasons, and that's where the JD Martinez part of this I want to get to in a little bit, just because he's kind of been the model of consistency. So I'm wondering where his price tag lands, and you've seen him a lot more in the NL West. But Soler is younger, and obviously that matters come free agency. He's still 31, so as a DH, you can still be kind of peaking a little bit, and he did last year on a Marlins team where if you're a lineup support guy, he didn't have a ton of that. I don't think another Marlin had over 20 homers or something like that. So Soler was the thumper in that lineup. He thumped last year. Worst case, he mauls lefties. Like, he's always mauled lefties, and we know the Giants are going to get they love doing their platoon and matching up type deal. So for that contract, they obviously are thinking of him as the everyday DH, and maybe you get the 20 games in right field. But I like that he's a pure threat. 36 bombs with the Florida Fish last year. That's another franchise not known for their pop. So you have to like it if you're a Giants fan. Why not?
Yeah, this doesn't stop you from making any other moves. I think that's why I like it so much for them. It's not an outrageous amount of money to pay for your DH, so you can still go out and try to get one of these guys. I said that before the show. Like, they shouldn't be done. They can't be done with this. I do like the move. He is a guy that can carry your team. He's a little streaky. But last year he had 3 months. May, August, and September and October with OPS over 9. Like, this guy can carry your team. You put him right in the middle of your order. Like you said, he mashes lefty. The on-base percentage is fine. Like, he's not a guy that's just going to all homers, all nothing. So it's a good signing for them. They bring in a couple bats this offseason. I don't know if I agree with, I like your 6-hole type hitter analogy, but I think if you talk about these guys like all coming together and having a good year at the same time, which is what kind of happens when a team wins. Like, you have guys just have their career years together. Like, I think it's a little bit better than that. I think the lineup is actually okay. I know last year was not great for them offensively overall. The statistics aren't there, but I think there's some promise. Like, Conforto just wasn't himself last year. If he gets going, now you bring in Soler. Hopefully you sign another one of these guys. Then you could dream upon that. But I still think there's so much work to do in San Francisco. I'm just, every time I look at the roster, there's obviously players I like, and I understand kind of what they're trying to do. It just feels incomplete to me. There's really good players on there, but there needs to be at least some more depth at the very least. And and adding a Matt Chapman to this team and allowing you to make some trades off of that, I think would be really good. I just think he fits so many places.
Well, I think they have around 25 mil left till they hit the tax, which could get you a Chapman, for the AAV for the yearly money. So they probably have more moves they want to make because it doesn't change their roster much. Flores now becomes like a platoon guy, finds at bats all over the place, maybe. I did go into the weeds to find out how many home runs will be given or taken from Jorge Soler now in San Francisco. And I have great news. He gets home runs added. If all of his home games in the last 2 years were played in San Francisco, he doesn't lose a single home run. Not one ball he hit out in Miami would be contained by.
Is he a pool monster? Is that why?
Yes. He gains 1 home run a year. 2 balls he hit in the last 2 years. The wall in Miami kept him in, but they would be homers in San Francisco. So you see that 36, 37.
Okay. I mean, something that they obviously very much needed. Jake, you referenced the stats. Are we going to give it to the people? The last time the San Francisco Giants, this is a Chris Rose stat. You got to give credit where credit's due. The last time the Giants had a 30-homer guy was Barry Bonds in 2004. That's crazy, dude.
Dude, that is really crazy.
That's a crazy statistic.
I heard that on the other side of the
was
office,
2 years
and I was
before.
like, what?
Yeah, the last right-hander was 2 years before that in 2002, and it was Jeff Kemp. I mean, we're talking about a generation ago. That's crazy to me. So much needed pop added to the lineup in San Francisco.
I've got a fun game. You like games?
Mm-hmm.
It's your whole life.
You know James likes games.
If the San Francisco Giants, who we think and have been rumored for a big free agent for years, and hey, Jung-Hoo Lee, like they rolled out over $100 million for, and we should respect that a little more. Let's find out who he is. But let's say they are in on one of the Boar 4. Which way would you guys go if you were GM? Would you add Chapman or Belly, or would you add Snell or Monty?
I would add Snell and Monty. I would add
I think you have
I'd be
to
very
add the
surprised if
pitchers to
someone
this team.
didn't choose pitcher there.
Because if you look at who their starters are, I mean, they're trying to get Jordan Hicks to be a starter. Like,
right.
They're desperate for innings.
I guess where I brought it up is you just mentioned Chapman could be a fit there, and I've daydreamed that too a little bit. And the other thing that needs, as we look at the Giants page, they did trade for Robbie Ray this year, who's going to be back at some point, and Alex Cobb should be back at some point for them. So with that, Kyle Harrison's a big time prospect. Like you are right with the Hicks. I'm also team, like, if they sign Snell and you look at Webb and Snell at the top of the rotation, like Webb kind of one of the true inning guys with Snell, who's not that, but he's one of the more dominant pitchers. And then you just say, hey, in this lineup, and I say the 6-hole thing in a half endearing way because guys are going to click. And like Lamont Wade's on base percentage last year, it's a little rude to him. I guess I'm comparing it to some of the elite offenses in the games when I say that. Like Wilmer Flores went nut job last year. What's your deal, Wilmer? You'd bank on, if I'm the Giants, I'm making one more move. You say, hey, maybe this lineup can come together and be chippy and be fun. But yeah, if you added Snell up top, then like the whole tone of this Giants team changes.
Is Robbie Ray coming back this year? I mean, he had TJ last year in May.
I thought it was
a next year signing.
I think he'll get back this year.
But it'll be like 3 starts.
You can't count on him for really any innings this year. Alex Cobb had hip surgery on Halloween. That's an interesting day to have hip surgery on. But gosh, I had something to say. Oh, yeah, Wilmer Flores. How about this? I was doing research, I believe, for the Tigers TPP. He has a brother, a pitcher, named
Wilmer
Flores. Not Wilmerette, but close. Just Wilmer.
Well,
Robbie Ray had Tommy John May 3rd of last year. So May will be a calendar year.
14.
I think they were aiming for summer All-Star break.
There's always setbacks. If it's the full Tommy John, unless you got that new hybrid one, it's usually like a handful of starts at the end of the season, unless you're Verlander. You guys we're missing the biggest thing the Giants did though yesterday or 2 days ago, whenever it was. Otto Lopez.
Yeah, purchased.
Got him from the Blue Jays. People loved Otto Lopez. That's your next Wilmer Flores, Tyro Estrada, Lamont Wade reclamation piece. That it's not even reclamation because he's still young. That you're going to be like, whoa, who's this guy? Projected to have 60 grade speed and hitting, Trev.
60 grade hitting?
I believe so. Contact, maybe, like not power.
Okay.
Just the hit tool.
Yeah.
That was a career 600 batting average in the majors.
Yeah, 6 for 9.
Ted couldn't do that.
Whoops. And here's the thing about
And he
power.
plays
I
all
guess
over.
We talk about power, and it's great to have these 30 home run guys, but the Giants won 3 World Series without a 30 home run hitter.
Boom.
As long as you just have a bunch of 6-hole guys in there that are all producing at the right time, you're going to be okay. But this team needs some pitching.
I mean, 98 Yankees do anything for you? Most home runs on that team? 28. Tina Martinez.
They were all juicing, and all they could hit was 28 homers.
That was before the juicing.
Trevor.
Oh, it was before the juicing.
The
I'm
juicing
sorry.
is like 01 through A-Rod. Giambi through A-Rod, basically.
2.
I mean, Darryl Strawberry might have been.
I'm just kidding. I don't know. Just around that time, there was a lot of juice in the game.
None of them fit the profile. Like you said, if they were, it wasn't the home run muscle
They weren't
juicing.
putting up crazy.
Yeah,
crazy
They
home
were a
runs.
contact move the runner over team, the 98 Yanks.
Okay.
But you go into the 2000s.
What other Yankee questions do you have, Trev?
You're always bringing us.
I
here.
think we need to move on from Jorge Soler.
We were actually
Congratulations to the
talking
Giants.
about Otto Lopez.
Yeah, we
I had already
moved on to
transitioned to
Lopez.
Otto.
Did you tell the people about SeatGeek?
SeatGeek exists.
It's like the #1 ticketing app in the world.
Yes.
Events.
Code Talkin.
I mean, go somewhere for Valentine's Day tonight.
You could. Save the day. That's
Give me-
actually
Yeah.
smart,
Save the
Trev.
day.
Give me a
Thank
city
you.
Give Jimmy a city right now.
right now. Give me a city. Give me a city that you think
City
one of
right
our
now.
listeners is listening in.
Oh, Seattle.
Yes.
Seattle's always
Huge
listening.
in
Those
Seattle.
dum-dums up in Seattle.
No.
Okay. There
We've
goes
Just
had so
kidding.
many of
That
them.
wasn't nice.
There go the
West
comments.
Coast.
That wasn't
West Side.
nice.
70,000 events every day. Code
Beautiful in
Talkin.
Seattle.
They'll let you know if you're getting a good deal.
Download the
What
app.
the shit?
Code Talkin. Link in the description. Green, good. Red, bad. Kind of Jake and Trevor today.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Kinda. You're pink.
Mm.
You do look good in that color, though.
Yeah, I know.
Nice color on you.
You look like you should be on Modern Family.
Hey.
Hey.
Big Cam energy.
Yeah.
I like Modern Family. Oh, I liked it.
Did you find what you're looking for, Jim?
Now it keeps redirecting me to like
Just being
where
like,
I am.
You're in New
and
York.
I'm not in
so-
Seattle.
Right.
Here, Sleepless in Seattle. That's the love story. $27 at Admiral Theater. So go check
Was it a
that out.
play?
Yeah, I think it's probably a play.
Boom.
Or the
Someone's
Seattle
doing a
Symphony.
What was that?
Let's
Dumbass.
see.
Storm Lounge. I mean, they got tons of shit on here.
Ooh, the Wenatchee Wild are at the Seattle Thunderbirds tonight. Okay.
Mm.
Ooh. Johnny Gill at the Emerald Queen Casino?
21 plus for that one. So just be careful.
What were you leaning us into, Jim?
Glen Otto exists. And so
we
does
got our-
Otto.
We got our auto run.
Glenn Otto Lopez.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of wild that right now we got a ton of autos in the league.
The Angels now. Padres.
Wow. There's been 3 major league managers named Otto. I would have never guessed Otto had so much run. That's nuts.
In like the 20s, I feel like Otto was popping.
I
It's
mean,
a big name.
You got Otto Velez, Otto Briggs, Otto Denning, Otto Huber, Otto Nabby, Otto Miller, Otto Bluge. A lot of autos, man. Who do you think's the
Ottavino.
best? Doesn't count.
Eh,
Does not count. Okay, so then do you want to do schedule stuff now, or you want to do Beebs?
I think the schedule is good.
Do you have JD Martinez thing, Jake?
I'm just super. Obviously, the age is different, but dollar-wise, I think he deserves more on his season and pedigree.
I mean,
But it's probably going to be a 1-year deal. But I don't know. Is that 20 mil for JD? Or who's coming to the door? Like
Angels and Mets are rumored to be bidding for him right
I guess
now.
if you're the San Francisco Giants, I'm very interested to see, because if it's 1 year of JD Martinez for like 20 mil, and JD would have been in on that for the Giants, the way these baseball teams operate, in theory, I think that's contractually you'd rather do that for 1 year than 3 years of Soler. But I don't know. Again, I don't know where the JD's going to land, but he mashed last year and every year.
If they thought would bring them, I'm assuming they still want to get one of those guys, and they're still planning on that. So if there was the AAV came into play, so they did not hit that first competitive balance tax, maybe that's why they would. But I agree with you. Like, if I'm a team looking for a DH, a guy that's going to be a hitter in the middle of my lineup, I'd rather have a guy for 1 year than give a guy 3 years. For the most part, unless we're talking, Juan Soto or something like that. But interesting. I think maybe it is that the payroll, they don't want to hit that first level, so they don't have to go over it and have to restart. That's what I'm assuming. Because the AAV is what on the Soler deal? 14?
We're all math guys.
I think it's 14, yeah.
Everyone knows it.
It is.
But the Angels are rumored to be in. If the Angels are rumored to be in on you, that means that you're waiting out injuries to be somewhere else. And then the Mets kind of came in and reported that they're interested in JD as well.
JD Martinez and the baby Angels, fire me up.
Him and Trout chilling.
Taking notes.
Flip him at the deadline. for
Trout
something.
talking weather and how much he loves the New Jerseys.
Should we talk about the New Jerseys? I mean, I haven't felt them yet. But they look like, when you put them side to side to the old ones, it looks like a knockoff. Like a cheaper knockoff.
It looks like
Yeah,
the ones
I'm
for
interested
kids.
because it just looks like you can see the press of the square and all that, which isn't great.
That's what they're saying. There's no stitching anymore. It's all heat transferred on. So you don't have, it doesn't look like an authentic, nice jersey. Like, I don't know what's going on with that.
Mike Trout loves it. Maybe respect the best to ever
Nike's
play
like,
until he had a teammate come
Don't you
over.
guys love this jersey?
The tweet was
But it's not.
unreal.
I thought it was Fanatics, but they just have Nike, the logo on it. But it's actually Fanatics taking care of it now. Isn't that what's going on?
I don't know. Some people are very, very into this world, and I'm not. So I feel I don't want to completely misspeak and piss off the jersey heads.
The Jersey Hive is not happy, though.
Yeah,
No,
they're not.
I saw one person made a lot of sense. It was they were showing a Michaelis jersey, and it was curved so much when it's like, you don't have that many letters. It doesn't need to be curved that much. It was like too much curvature.
Too much curvature.
Yeah. You know I like curves.
Well,
Anyways.
can I let you guys know that there was a man named, he went by Woody Wagenhorst. Or Wagenhorst.
Sure.
His full name, though, was Elwood Otto Wagenhurst. Negative 0.1 WAR.
Strong name.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
There's a picture.
There's the Michaelis. I don't know, bro. That looks like a jersey giveaway at the ballpark.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, we've got schedule stuff. Jason Stark put out an article. And it's like, it's right up my alley. I
That's
understand.
why I sent it to you last night.
Cook, Jim.
I understand it is like stats that exist but don't matter. Like, sometimes people get upset about this stuff because it doesn't matter. And like, we know, but there's just some fun oddities that he found here on the schedule. Since last year was the first time they went to this new balanced schedule and all the stuff that goes into it. Go read the full article. I'm just going to share with you the stuff I liked. There were one of the big takeaways was the Twins have based on last year's record, the biggest gap of they're the only team out of all 30 that do not play majority of their games against teams that were 500 or better last year. And that's because they had 2 negative 100 win or 100 loss teams in their division. Like the whole article is, boy, does the AL Central absolutely suck minus the Twins in like any grand point you want to make from it. But that's not really what my favorite thing about it. It was just kind of like little nuggets of info. One was that teams get to submit now if they would rather 3 series road trips or 2 series road trips, whether it gets fully granted or not. But teams like they get to like submit like our preference is to play 3 series on the road, or no, we like only playing 2 and coming home. And I found that interesting because last year I said a bunch of times like, wow, the Yankees don't have the 3 series road trip, West Coast trip. Like they always did like Seattle, Angels, and then Arizona, or Seattle, San Francisco, and then LA if they were doing interleague. And they didn't have any last year. But so I guess teams do get to decide. So if your team's doing a ton of 3-leg trips, like Boston opens up with one. So maybe they're like, let's just get it all out of the way. I thought that was interesting. And then the scheduling, they do think led to more attendance because it was like weekend series where stars and interleague play was happening were like way up compared to the last couple of years. There's a lot of factors there, but they liked that. One of the tidbits I liked was that the Mariners, hey, Mariners fans, they don't play an away game in their time zone until June.
Interesting.
So as a viewer, as an audience, if the Mariners are on the road, you're getting for them 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock start. For 2 months. That's a lot. That's crazy.
That is crazy. I love the thing I love most is obviously the attendance rising. It makes a lot of sense. If you're someone that, you can only go to 3 or 4 games a year, you don't want to see the same guys over and over. You don't want to see the Cleveland Guardians play the Twins 4 times a year. Like, it's nice to be able to plan out now, like, hey, like I like this guy on that team. He's either going to be here this year or he's going to be here next year, no matter what. But or just the influx of new teams, it's going to drum new interest. So it just makes a lot of sense. So there was some really big numbers there as far as attendance. I thought that was really cool. I like the interleague aspect of it. I always liked playing interleague games, and now they've risen from 46 interleague games or 246 interleague games from 19 to 20. I like that too. I think that also drums up interest. Teams you don't get to see very often are coming into your park much more regularly. So this whole thing was great. We thought it was going to be good when they announced that they were going to make the schedule changes. I think the first thing that we all said was going to be more fair. Like you're just playing a more fair, balanced schedule. You always mention the Centrals, and it hasn't changed. Like those are the 2 worst divisions in baseball right now, the NL and the AL Central. So it's nice that, there is a more balanced schedule because you don't want to sit here and talk about, well, this team played this team so many times and that's why they're in the playoffs. You just want the best teams in the playoffs. I think this is a way to get that to happen. So for all the things that baseball has screwed up over the last, 5-6 years, they've gotten a few right as of late, and you just got to applaud it. The schedule is awesome, and the pitch clock is awesome.
I was wondering why this offseason feels so terribly dead, and I offended a lot of people with my tweet discussing this recently. And then I remembered, like, we had the schedule change to chew on. We had a ton of rule changes to chew on, including pitch clock last year. And there was a bunch of other, like, changes that we could talk about and think about over the offseason when the signings were done. But we don't have any. Like, we did an episode on the rule change, but it wasn't as crazy as
Or
this.
like monumental changes.
Yeah, or like anticipating the pitch clock and getting like everyone else's thoughts. And I was like, oh yeah, that was a lot of fodder last year.
And last year was a big off season. We got double treated.
New CBA, first like true off season.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like we're still an iteration away from the schedule being where I wanted it. I don't know. Like that's the problem. I don't have the answer. It does still feel like there's, because I wanted everybody to play everybody. The story I've told a lot of times on here, when I was living in Colorado, the Yankees came out to play the Rockies in 2016. Me and roommate Jeff from Floorball were going out to scalp tickets. The price never got to where we got to, and we got pretty good buzz outside the stadium. Go check out Baggage Floorball. The Yankees never came back. I lived in Colorado till 2020. Yankees never came back. So like the whole rise of Aaron Judge, he never came to Coors Field. Like that's a shame. That's a shame. So the fact that we've checked that box now, I guess I'm interested in another iteration, because I do feel like some of the divisional rivalries are getting hurt in this. I know Yankees Red Sox are at an all-time low. How are your 4 and 5 seeds in the AL East last year? But there's a couple times you look at the schedule and you're like, damn, like we don't see these guys at all. And I'm sure you're thinking the same thing if you're Dodgers Giants or whoever your team's rivalry team is. That I think there's another iteration of this where maybe we can sneak in a couple more division games, and we can do, whether they're 2-gamers or, I'm not the biggest 2-game guy, so probably not. Or it's just, 3 games once a year and you switch. I don't know. I think there's another iteration of this I'm going to like a little more, but I do think we've taken good steps for baseball.
Well, you get 4 series now against your division opponent, 2 at home, 2 on the road. And I think that if they could, I would like them to spread them out. So you get 2 in the first half and 2 in the second half, and not have them come. Sometimes they come in the same 10 days. So like 6 of your games against your division rival will come in the same 10-day stretch. That's one IL stint. You could be missing one dude, but that's half your battle against this team that you might be chasing in the division race. Like, let's do, like 1 in April, then 1 in June, and then 1 in July, then 1 in September, or whatever. I do think the planned double headers, let's do more of those, so then you get a little more off day and you can like schedule things a little easier. I feel like it would help out, but it's less ticket sales, less money, blah, 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 blah. Otto
Isn't it one of those
Velez.
things like cost of doing business? I feel like the interest in a doubleheader day, if you do it right, will be great. And then you do get the off day, which, players will like. And I think when you start to get like a little bit more scarcity. I'm sorry. I'm sick, guys. I'm fighting
You're
through this.
scallywag.
When you get a little more scarcity in games, I think that drums up interest. Like having games every single day, like everyone talks about. I don't want to be like Anthony Rendon here, but like it gets monotonous for everybody. That's why the NFL is so freaking successful, man. It's just they don't play a lot of freaking games. They don't. I do think that realignment is probably on the docket and should be on the docket. I think that's the next thing that'll drum up a ton of interest in our sport, is if we create more and more of the regional rivalries. Like that is what we need. I need to be able to take my car and drive, to these cities and so I can go experience more ballparks against, the teams that are in our division. I think that would just be awesome. I don't know when that's going to come, if that's ever going to come, but that's my dream, to have just a better alignment in the divisions, more regionally focused. I think that would help a lot. I really, really do. So
The Yankees and the Blue Jays are a good example. They play each other in 6 games in a 12-day span in April. It's just like, spread those out. There's 4 teams. You play them twice. I feel like you could do that if like every team is playing someone within the division. You just have like division. First series of every month is going to be you're playing someone in your division. So then it's like, but there's weird shit. I am not trying to act like the dude who makes the schedule's job is easy, because there's so much that goes into it, and there's more than I even know.
Tough math.
Like in the article, they talk about how Philly and the Mets are going to London this year. So they gave them divisional series before and after the London trip, so there wouldn't be a lot of travel. leading up to and when you get back from it, which leads to the Mets. They don't host a division rival for a long time. It's like 7 teams come through before someone in the NL East comes through Citi Field. So, there's just weird obstacles. But, yeah, I think people would like it if it was more structured. If it's doubleheader Sunday or first Sunday of every month is doubleheader or first weekend series of every month is going to be a division rival. Like, you just, I don't know. It feels like it would be easier to be a fan and understand, the rhythm.
Do you think every team has, and I guess I know the answer, it's no, but every team, do they have a rival? Like, do you have a team that, drums up interest when you play them? I don't think every team does.
I don't think so.
It's not the same one. It's not mutual necessarily.
Not mutual, yeah, I guess. Because my other thought on the schedule was I love the last series of the year being against your rival because you're fighting to get into a playoff spot, and it's against those motherfuckers.
Well, for a while, the Yankees and the Red Sox
that.
would always always almost open and close the season, it felt like, or very close. And I actually really like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But again, okay, so Red Sox Yankees, who is the Blue Jays rival? Is it you'd have to make it the Orioles?
Yeah, things
someone's got to go back.
I think a lot of teams have right now rivals because they're both good and they're competing. Yeah. But not every team has a long-standing
a historic
blood feud. Hatfield McCoy's rival.
It's not going to be that way. I feel like that doesn't happen anymore.
No. I guess if you're the schedule makers, and again we do need to preface it. I know Jim just did, but it's a near impossible task because I was just about to say one of the rivalries that started last year is Texas and Houston, and it's okay. This makes sense. We're in the same state. We're in the same division. Upstart team, the kind of a dynasty team. Texas pride on the line. Okay. You wonder if the schedule makers can get ahead of that as much as they can for a season like this, if they could play in the final week of the season or something like that. But again, Texas on our TPPs last year was the 23rd team. So it comes and goes fast. That a lot of them, you need the actual matchup. I'm trying to think, when the Cincinnati Reds were that dude BP and Joey Votto, who were they
Pirates.
going? Yeah, them and the Pirates, which I don't know.
And then Cubs in St. Louis.
Right. Yeah, I mean that one's kind of always going, right?
Yeah, that's one of the historic ones.
Put good teams out there, and they'll create rivals.
Are we doing the Field of Dreams game again this year?
I don't know.
Tweet.
They kind of were building it into a baseball facility and not a random ass field in a cornfield, which was the entire thing that made it unique and fun. They're it's only going to get bigger. We're going to build 7-field facility. There's going to be games here all the time. It's going to be parking lots. We're okay, well, now you're just building a fucking facility.
It is changing this year.
It was cool because they had the fucking highway shot, in this helicopter of the fact that it was one baseball field in the middle of the corn parking and stuff. Anyway.
Liam Hendricks tipping pitches in that game. Don't forget that.
People do forget that. People also forget that Adam Schomburg had 4.3 WAR, which makes him 6 on the auto list.
Would you say that was a factor in what he did on the baseball field?
I would. I also want everyone to know that Otto Kruger's nickname was Paul.
And before we get back to that, Factor Meals is what you guys need to be doing. Jim keeps saying he's going to do it. Do it now, Jim. Peer pressure.
I already do. I have them in the
Factor
fridge.
Meals. Talkin 50. Oh, well, everyone out there has been eating them. We need to get you more with code Talkin50 at factormeals.com. Get them ordered to your front door. Easy. Ease. It's what you need. Less time think. Pick them out. If you're keto, they got that. They got some Calorie Smart one. You're going to be eating in 2 minutes. That's the difference with Factor. This isn't one of the meal prep ones. Let's put aside an hour, 15 minutes. No. They come in ready to go.
I don't have time for that.
Nobody's got time for that. And they're flexible. You get 6 to 18 meals per week. Adjust it to your schedule. Find a couple regulars. I tend to like the chicken dishes with them. I think there's a sun basil chicken.
I like the the taco-esque ones where you do the cheese and the salsa and
The
stuff.
cheese.
Like
Head.
the wellness shots. How about that?
Oh, you're not doing so well right now. Head to factormeals.com/talkin50. There's a link in the description. Go check it out.
50% off is nuts. What are they
That's
doing?
real.
Factor.
So the Paul is the pipe, Hungarian pipe. What the old, it bends down and goes up. So this guy Otto Kruger, he was nicknamed Paul, and I thought, he must have been smoking out of that pipe all the time, the Paul pipe. But the pipe is named Paul after Paul Kruger, South African president. So that's just how much you can learn if you want to. It's all out there at your fingertips.
Yep.
Terrible nickname. Paul.
Paul.
OOM.
Paul.
Paul.
I don't hate it.
Paul.
I've heard worse nicknames.
Go visit his grave then. Pay him some respect.
Okay.
Fair.
Leave a pipe.
Feels
Are we going to do
cheater.
the fun, surprising veterans? I think we just run down the list real quick. I think
Run
that's
down the
fine.
list, and I'll do a sound effect if I think they're fun.
All right,
I-
so we
I
have
identified
Dalton put
one
together.
team that I thought
Go
was a
ahead.
fun collection of names. I
Okay.
wonder if you guys agree.
Are you going to name it, or do you want me to run down this list?
Run
By
down,
the way, let's just.
run down the list.
I already see one on here for the Mariners. Baseball. Did you not learn anything from what just happened at the Super Bowl and Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift? The most viewed television event since the moon landing? Is that what they said?
What?
And guess what?
It didn't
Had a
beat the
big-
FIFA World Cup. So,
125
in America, maybe?
million people. I don't know. Whatever. Phil Tucker dates a superstar. I'm just saying, put him on your roster if you want to sell some tickets. Mariners.
Married to. Marriage.
Married. Sorry, excuse me. I did miss that one. All right. I don't know how many. There's too many names to name. Beavers, why don't you give us the team that you think is the best, and let's go over that team.
Angels just have the most fun trio of names on there. It's guys that you've seen around. Sano trying to make the team. He's a big bopper.
In
What's he gonna
shape.
be now. In shape.
Had a
now.
good winter league.
Drew Pomeranz, healthy now. You've seen him get big innings. He's trying to break camp with the Angels. I liked that. Jake Marisnik, you've seen him around. I
It's
like what the
funny
Rangers do
because-
too. The AL West is like doing spring training invites well.
When you're a veteran like this, I've been one of these guys. You're just looking for the spot that you think sucks and that you can make the roster. So like Kevin Pillar, Jesse Chavez, Corey Knebel going to the White Sox. They think they stink and they think they have a chance to make the team. That's what you do. If you notice, like a lot of like the good teams are kind of like we'll invite a few people.
Every now and
Like
then there's
the
a fun one.
like the
there.
AL East, there's nobody that they invited, dude.
Yeah, I felt bad for Pilar. Although we did, Lou Trevino is at Yankees camp, so we'll report that live here. I was like, damn, because Pilar's he played 81 games for the Braves last year. Like going to the White Sox, you're trying something a little different. Drew Palm, interested to see remember when he just turned into a lights out reliever for a little bit? His last 47 games, a 1.62 ERA for DrewPalm.com.
I just
Jose
decided
Iglesias,
that
I didn't expect to see with the Mets. I missed that in December.
Well, I've decided that Carlos Cookie Carrasco
He made the team.
will be the Yankees' fifth starter.
No, he's going to make the team on the Guardians, and there's no doubt.
They probably release him because they trade for Balubin Shopper, and the Yankees say, we'll give you a shot, a la Anibal Sanchez, 2018.
Got Jim on a big Anibal Sanchez 2018 kick.
Yep.
Since we went through the
Nasty.
signings. What was I a couple ones that jumped out. Jesse Winker and the Nats, just corner outfield rehab in Washington. Would love if he gets the shot there. What was the other one? This one just like if you've been following baseball, Ken Giles is with the Braves. Rehabbed, came back, threw a couple innings with the Mariners last year, so he'll come back and be incredible for them. That's a layup. And
the Duffy boys out in Texas.
Yep. Danny
Both
and
Duffs. Jared Walsh there buying some Angel secrets.
Danny
the
Duffy
Pirates,
nicknamed Chill Sergeant.
the guys that are going to the Pirates are going to make the team. Jake Lamb,
Ooh.
corner guy, utility ish, and then Brent Honeywell. Like, they're always looking for pitching. He's going to make the team. The one I thought was also interesting, like if you're Josh Harrison, you choose to go to the Reds. Why? All they have is like infield guys that can play all over the place. It's like they have too many of those guys, and you're kind of one of those guys. I get
likes how he looks in the uniform.
Yeah, they send them down. You're on the bench, and maybe that's what you're thinking. But there's so many utility. They're all just shortstops.
Has a house where their spring training facility is.
Yeah, maybe.
He's trying out for anybody but the Reds.
Oh, let's do Josh Harrison career total earnings because he's been around for a while. Let me get it up right now.
I feel like he never got a big deal, right?
Couple good years.
I don't think a big deal.
Josh Harrison.
I'm gonna guess before I look.
How many years has he been in the league?
Same birthday.
So he has 11, almost 12 years in the show. I'm gonna say he's pushing somewhere like $25 million.
Bump it up.
34.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
40.
What did you
34
say?
for you.
Threw a 40 out there.
And you said 34?
Just the years add
I'll
up.
go
Probably
30.
did
I'll
well
go
for
36
himself
and
in
a
R.
half. Split Jake and BBD.
And the final.
I think you're too
is-
low, Trev.
Wow. 39.4 mil.
Damn, I didn't split him properly. Beebs was right.
Make the team this year, and I'm right.
If Jake had said 38.
Oh, you know what? He did sign a deal. James. At least I think he did.
I think
Like a
he
pre-arb
just
thing?
cranked
That's
Arb with
Arb?
the Pirates.
I think
yeah.
he nailed his arb pretty good.
As Jake
10.25
said,
in
he
Arb?
just cranked Arb with the Pirates.
Yeah.
It's a fun sentence.
No, because like it's well, I guess you're right.
And the flaw.
No flaw. It's a great sentence.
He and I have the same birthday. I've got his career earnings on lock.
Yeah, mistimed his free agency by a year.
Bummer.
And we all.
Yeah,
Was
some
a good
arbs.
utility guy back in the day, fantasy baseball. I liked him.
Yeah, pretty good player.
All right. Otto Mitchell, Oak Hill Cemetery, Evansville, Indiana. If you want to go pay some respect.
He was on the WBC team.
Nah, he died in
I'm respecting more
1938.
Josh Harrison. Respect, bro.
Jake sucks.
40 M's and WBC. I think he was probably an all-star.
He got one
Two-time all-star.
in there,
All
I think.
right, dude. Respect Josh Harrison, guys.
Respect him. Dun, 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 dun.